Welcome, guys, to an episode of Trending Sports Podcast. If you guys are new here, we cover all sports on a daily basis. I'm here with my co-host, GC.
And guys, we're here today with a huge freaking event. We're with Montreal's very own Charles Jourdain. What an honor.
Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go.
Thank you guys for having me. As soon as you guys slide into my DM, I went and see the page, and man, 70K on Instagram. You guys are big on many platforms, and it shows all the work you guys have been putting through me. I've been in the UFC for 6 years now, built like 125K. Like I have very, very good social media, but when I saw your presence, I was like, okay, I need to talk to these guys. They know, they got game, so let's go.
Honestly, bro, if you want a bit of a backstory on that, like I was telling you before, I'm going to tell the viewers now also. I saw one of your stories on Instagram about you read the DMs, you go in the DMs. I looked at Wes and I said, bro, let's just shoot a shot.
Let's
just DM him. You never know what could happen. And guys, less than a week later, he shows up on our podcast. We're so excited. And before we get started, actually to get started is I'm going to say, tell me a bit about yourself, about your UFC career. Let's start off like that.
Real quick, I'm going to say it was part of my bucket list to do an English podcast in Canada,
wow.
in
This
Montreal.
is your first one?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
I did a couple, let's say, west of Canada, Toronto, Vancouver, all those places. But now in Montreal, I'm glad because I know there's a lot of fans who speaks English. And when they try to consume my content, most of it here is in French. So thank you very much for giving me the opportunity.
It's an honor. Thank you.
It's our pleasure, man. Are you
Slide
kidding
to
me?
the first question.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about your UFC career, the start of your career, how you got into MMA.
So basically, it started as a young man. I think when you're forging yourself between 10 and 15, that's where you are trying to reach, like, let's say, your archetype. There's 12 archetypes in the world, and me, the one that talks to me the most, it was the hero. I really enjoyed movies where there was action, and when you can see someone go through a lot of struggle and get stronger. It's an archetype that it's getting less and less presented in movies. I don't know why. It's an all different topic. It's a very different era we're living in. But back then, you can see in Lord of the Rings, Aragorn, the Ninja Turtles, the four brothers who lose something and they're weak and now they're getting stronger. So all that hero archetype was always very appealing to me.
Yeah.
So I started, I was going out with my friends and I could see, let's say, people fighting in the street. And I was like, man, what if it happens to me? Like, I need to know how to defend myself because I don't want to get beat up by those older guys because it would happen a lot, especially during La Saint-Jean.
Okay.
Like, many people were fighting and I was always looking, like... One thing that Dana White said that I totally agree is that fighting is in our DNA. Like, if you go to a corner and you can see two guys playing soccer, two guys playing tennis, two guys playing golf, and two guys fighting, instinctively, you guys are going to watch the two guys fighting. You need to see what's going on.
That's 100% true.
Exactly.
Yeah, you got a point on that,
there's
man.
a reality behind that if you're one of them, you need to know how to defend yourself. So I was always very attracted to that gym and that you need to train mentality. So one day I passed by in front of the Tic Géant in my city in Belleuil and I see the fitness box. I'm like, man, fighting gym? Let's go. So I went and I did a first tryout. I'm like, man, you can punch stuff, you can kick, you can do many things and you're not getting in trouble? Sign me in. So I was like 15. Me and my little brother Louis signed in.
Yeah.
And man, it just started like that. Like we arrived in the gym. It was never about UFC, anything. It was just, we got in, we started to train, and we had fun. Until to this day, we're having fun when we're in the gym. I was in the gym earlier today in Montreal with all the guys, and I'm having so much fun that's to this amazing, day, man. Like being in this environment. So now, where I had a little bit of a weird separation is when I went back to school. So after I went to the gym for many weeks, I'm like, okay, these guys at school, they want to do drugs. They want to hang out during weekends, drink.
Party.
And party, which is okay, which is your archetype. There's the fun, the joker. There's many things that some people are drawn to. But me, I was like, no, I like being in that environment where everybody that I see every week are getting physically and mentally stronger. There was something so good that was calling. Let's say, I call this the calling. I think there's a hand, there's a light that's telling you, okay, you have two choices. Either you have fun, so it's more like a hedonistic lifestyle, which for me feels empty because when you reach pleasure and then you want pleasure again, it's like a never-ending circle.
For sure.
But accomplishment, like I feel more fulfilled in accomplishment than just seeking like bits of pleasure.
For sure, bro. For sure. 100%.
So I was more surrounded by that in the gym. So I decided to, you know what? All my friends were like, hey, you're weird, you changed, and I was like, okay, but fuck you guys. I like my people in the gym.
Yeah.
So me and Louis, we started to train and start developing this whole martial art mentality. Start reading books from very famous Japanese writer like Miyamoto Musashi, The Book of Five Rings, 48 Laws of Power from Robert Greene. Like we started to embark onto that psychology, philosophy, fighting, lifestyle. And that was fun because back then the UFC was playing only once a month. So that's interesting because now there's show every time.
Yeah.
Every fucking week
single
there's
week.
always
Fight
show.
nights.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that was our activity. Like if we had a good month in school, my father would bring us to watch the UFC. So it was always pay-per-view, like 137, 138, na. And me, one of the first event I watched, it was 137 or 136. It was GSP against... GSP, excuse me, was supposed to fight Nick Diaz, but then pulled out because GSP had this ACL surgery.
Yeah.
So now BJ Penn stepped in, and we could see like the big bad guy Nick Diaz flipping off the camera, very gangster-like, and we're like, oh my god, okay, we have all sorts of personality. Because we grew up watching George, and George was such a perfect warrior,
class,
inside, outside the cage, interviews, So I thought everybody was like George. But then coming back, man, George, I just want to say this guy is the most exceptional fighter. Like there was always a big conversation between who's the GOAT. I think George overrides John Jones and Anderson Silva. That was the big trio back then. Why? Because George, outside the cage, he gives time to people. Like then John Jones, there was like the wife beating situation, the drugs, in terms of fighting, John Jones did such a machine, but George was a big representative of martial arts throughout the world, which is little interesting fact. Like he didn't give any interview in Quebec until he was world champion. Quebec didn't care about him, and he couldn't even go to Japan without being sworn by people. George was such a big world star, and here in Quebec, because of our mentality, it was like very slow for him.
I think it's also because like people haven't seen or didn't see yet since George St. Pierre somebody big coming out of Quebec, Canada. So they saw that as like, okay, maybe this guy's probably gonna be nothing. And after once he became something, then he got all the media attention, which is wrong, 100%.
Yeah, but it's not me. It's not that the media wasn't there. Let's say because there were so much there for boxing. Lucian Bute, Jean Pascal, they
UFC
were there. UFC is zero coverage. But then GSP became the great man that he is.
And what made you choose UFC? Like, let's say, other than boxing or other combat sports?
Oh, I can kick. I'm a kickboxer. Yeah. If I can put my knee or my leg in your face, I fucking love it. I love boxing, but and I'm gonna get a lot of jab from you guys from the boxing community. I love training boxing. I love sparring boxing, but it's not a complete form of fighting. Yeah. Like these guys, like I can send you guys like one of my amateur who could beat one of the very good pros in MMA.
Wow!
Like in a fight where there's takedown, jiu-jitsu, kick, everything, your boxing might lose. Like most of the time that guys who are not doing good is when we go to boxing, because it's an art and it's a beautiful art. I'm not taking anything away from boxing, but it's a very incomplete form of fighting. And I know you guys, you should make a little clickbait with that. Boxing sucks. No, I'm kidding.
Charles, talk about fucking knees. That was your last fight versus David Grant had to be one of the fucking craziest knees I've ever seen in my life. You fucking kneed him in the face, fell on the floor, ground and pound, and you put him in a freaking what's it called?
Guillotine.
In a guillotine. Oh my god, I was freaking out. I couldn't even believe that fight was in Vancouver, right?
Yes. Yeah. Was it Vancouver?
Yeah, it was Vancouver.
Vancouver. Yeah. Take us through that fight a bit. Like what was going through your mind after the fight, before the fight?
Is that your favorite KO so far?
It's up there. I have many nice finishes, but that was nice because I landed the knee and he was not going out, and I decided to finish him with my move, which is the guillotine. I'm one of the fighters who's getting like the most guillotine win soon. Like I like taking your head and just ripping it off.
Yeah.
There's something pure and violent about it,
bro. I was so smooth, man. I couldn't believe it.
When I landed the knee, I was surprised that he didn't go out because it was a very nasty knee. Like my first professional fight, I got a guy right on the jaw, and this is where people call me Air Jourdain because of Air Jordan. Yeah. I'm like, okay, you don't choose really your nickname. People give it to you. And the crowd gave me Air Jourdain, and I was like, okay, we'll ride with it. And just performing that knee, falling him down. And one thing that was quite interesting about that preparation is I was introduced to visualization, which is something, you know, I'm like, nah, you know, it might be a scheme, maybe it's just something weird. But like the whole fight camp, I was like, I got a sauna at my place now, and I was in the sauna just visualizing how can I finish him, and I was like, I think I'm gonna finish him with the knee, and if he's tough, I'm gonna guillotine him. And I during fight week, you know, I was like, oh no, I normally back then I would be not confident enough to speak this into existence. And during that fight week, I'm like, no, I was having a very big interview with Sportsnet. And I looked at Aaron, and I told him, I said, I'm going to flying knee him, and if he's tough, he's going to try to take me down, and I'm going to guillotine him.
So you
and
literally called
it into existence, and I was very... when it happened, like when I had the guillotine, you can see me laugh while I had it.
Bro, you stuck your tongue out and you were laughing at the camera. I saw it, bro. I was freaking out.
But the point behind that was I felt, I know many people like this video game analogy because many people played video games at some point in their life. And I felt like I was playing a game over again, like a save game that I was doing again. So when I caught him into the guillotine, I felt I lived this moment so many times in my mind. And when I caught him, I was like, okay, like this visualization thing. You know, Ilia Topuria, Poatan, Connor, like the great one talks about it. And I think it takes a point until you can dwell with that. Yeah. I'm not going to say I mastered anything because it's the first time it happened to me like this clearly. Yeah. But it's definitely something that I would encourage your viewers or anybody. Like when we're sitting here, you know, like you had a vision of everything, like the podcast, everything would look like. For sure, bro. And then you guys build that vision, and now you already know what's the next vision. Like right now you're doing this, but there's also in your mind like where's the like next, we're gonna have our office, it's gonna be like this, like coffee, like stripper pole, like no, I'm kidding. But it's important to have this longer vision.
But I've seen also like other fighters in the past. A really good example of that is Conor McGregor versus Aldo, like that knockout that he did. He practiced those exact moves before the fight. And I saw that you mentioned also Ilia Topuria. And speaking of him, I after doing some research, I saw that you were actually supposed to fight Ilia Topuria.
Yes.
But then he ended up getting injured.
I was not injured. He
got pulled out?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We were doing the weight. I was cutting the weight for the fight, like on Friday. And my agent called me. He's like, he's like, Ilia's out. I'm like, out of what? Like, what happened? He's like, he cannot make weight. So he had trouble making weight, which was unfortunate, but there it's still Ilia Topuria, you know? Like, I might be more concussed than ever right now. So, you know, I need to give props to the man. Like, he's the double champ.
Yeah, he's a freaking beast, man.
I think he's fighting his biggest fight right now, the divorce and the lawyers.
Yeah, that's another story. That's another story. Wow.
I hope he stays undefeated. But that could be rough. Yeah. But yeah, I was supposed to fight Ilia Topuria. Like, when I saw him at first, I was like, maybe I know our path's going to cross one day. The first time I saw him, I was like 1 year in UFC. And then 4 or 5 years later, we crossed path. So the fight didn't happen, which could be something great. Yeah. But I crossed paths with one of the greats, and he said, "Thank you very much, Charles, for taking the fight." He had a lot of respect for me because I just fought like 2 guys in the last 4 months. I was fighting every 2 months. I was really on the grind that year. And I just had this very great push kick that was viral online. Still, UFC still posts it, and they get so many millions of views. I'm like, hey, where's my cut?
where's the viewership cut, bro?
Exactly. No, they can post this party kick, and it gets like 12.7 millions on YouTube or something. I'm like, that's
Dana.
Me, man.
Yeah, Dana.
But yeah, so I had this very big finish, and then everybody was hyped about me, and I'm like, I saw Mosvar's out, and I was sitting on my couch. I'm like, I called my manager. I'm like, fly me to it was Anaheim, I think. No, it was California. Anyway, somewhere around that. I'm like, fly me. I'll go and fight him. I don't care. I don't need a camp. I believe in myself, and let's go. You know, fighters fight. That's our job.
That takes a lot of courage and guts, man, to do that. I respect that a lot.
Dana paid me, man. Dana gave me, at that point of my career, my show money was 50 Gs, and he gave me 50 Gs just to show up. I made weight, and he's like, thank you, kid. Bang, gave me my money. So that was very nice of
yeah,
him.
that's nice of
You
him,
know,
for sure.
sometimes if the fight falls, they're like, no, you didn't fight, so they don't give you anything. So I went in, got my show money, and went back and enjoyed Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was right before Christmas, the fight.
I think so. Yeah,
Maybe
something in those lines,
somewhere
like
along
maybe
those lines.
January, early January, or December.
Yeah. So most of your recent fights, like where were they? Most of your recent fights. One of them was in Vancouver. Have you fought any other place in Canada?
Edmonton.
Okay,
Edmonton. I never fought in Montreal
Yeah,
with the UFC, which is okay. Like I just had my son at that point,
Okay.
and becoming a father changed your game absolutely, because now you're fighting for something more than yourself.
Yeah.
And now I got down from my category. Now I'm 135, which is something I should have done earlier. But I'm happy I've been forged in a different fire, because I fought very big guys, very strong guys. I fought for the top 15 against Shane Burgos, which was a fight.
Yeah.
It was in New York. There was a close decision loss, but many people, including Dana, everybody said,
Said
man,
that was
kid,
you that
didn't-"
won?
Yeah, I think I got robbed in New York. So that was I was like 26 and I was fighting in New York, and I think it was like 323 punches to 70, and like
What?
Oh yeah, there was something like
And you got robbed like that?
I got robbed.
Oh my God.
But it's unfortunate. But still, at the end of the day, I think right now I'm in my right path. I'm in my right division. I just went to 35. I beat two very strong veterans, two very strong guys, and I beat them pretty decisively. Like the guy I fought before, Victor Henry, was never finished in his career. And I think David Grin was finished only once.
Oh, wow.
And I finished both of them quite like, one was second round, the other one was first round. Yeah. So I'm making a lot of noise in my division right now. Bro. And we have another guy from Montreal, which is Ayman Zahabi, the
I've heard of him,
Firaz. One of George's protégé. He's doing quite good right now. He's up there in the ranking. So having him and me in the 35ers representing Canada and Montreal is quite great.
You guys are both fighting at 135?
Yes, sir.
Would you ever see you guys like fighting each other?
We talked about it, because if it's for the title, you know, I would put my martial art game against him at 100%, and because once you have the belt, you have the target on your back, and he acknowledged it. But he's my friend. I really like him. He unfortunately is not followed as much as he should, because I don't know. The social media presence is good, but maybe it lacks something. But Ayman, when you know him personally, man, what a wonderful man, a father, a very strong guy. I think he's on a 7-fight winning streak on the division.
Good for him, man. That's amazing.
Oh, he's a beast. I like him a lot. But yeah, if you have the belt, then we need to fight. But when he gets the belt, I think he's gonna retire, get the paper.
I think that would be probably the first time in UFC history, guys, that two Canadian people from
Montreal,
Quebec, from Montreal, were to be fighting for a belt. Hey. That would be crazy. I would definitely watch that fight, 100%. Yeah. So
and even your brother
Louis signed.
You guys made history as the first Canadians to be in the UFC.
Yes,
brothers.
That's such an accomplishment.
Oh, absolutely. Like Louis. It's something when you know someone is UFC bound, but you cannot go on media, you cannot go everywhere and say, hey, my brother's going to be in UFC, or Louis go like, I'm going to be in UFC. Because when you do that, there's a little bug with that mentality. People are like, no, in Quebec, we like make your proof, like make your case, and then we're going to believe you.
Let your game do the talking.
Exactly. So when Louis joined, I was like, man, we always knew. Like, you guys are all surprised. It's great. But I always knew my brother would join us. Like, he's the representation of resilience. Like, he had surgeries, like injuries. There were so many things that didn't go well in his career. But, man, Louis stuck. He's like, no, I don't care. I'm going to be in UFC one day. And he made it. So, a very big... it's very inspiring for everybody who have up and down. If you still have that aim and, you know, you have that goal in mind, like... maybe God or whatever you want to call it, the light with like I don't mind, but if they're not giving you what you want right now, it's because they want you to have broader shoulders, a bigger back. So everything that this divinity would put you through, life put you through, is in order to make you strong enough to handle that burden. Because you guys might like, oh, you're in UFC now. Yeah, but now you're fighting the best of the world. Are you prepared for that? I see guys, call me UFC, I'm ready. You guys can barely fight bombs in
for example, there was one guy that went on the mic in one of the pre-fights, and he went to the mic. He's like, Dana, give me a chance. Remember that guy? I forget his name. He was maybe a Dagestani guy or somebody from somewhere from Russia. He fought his first fight in the UFC. I think he was in Bellator before or something. Fought his first fight in the UFC. He lost, and he didn't get signed again. So that's a perfect
destroyed.
example. Yeah,
exactly. Like don't take that shot for granted. Like people are like, oh yeah, I beat all the guys. Like I was number 1 in Canada in 2 division when I was 22. I was beating all those guys. I'm like, fuck, I'm the best.
Yeah.
Then you arrive in UFC. You're a small fish next to whales and sharks. You know.
Yeah.
So it took me time to get this manpower. Now I'm a man. I just turned 30. Yeah. I have my kid. I have 16 fights in UFC. I'm a UFC veteran.
That's crazy.
So I was built in a very strong fire. So now I can envision my aim at the title, and I see all those guys top 15, top 10, top 5. I know I can beat them, but it wouldn't be the case if I was still that little nonchalant kid thinking, because I'm the best in Canada. Being the best in Canada doesn't mean shit.
Nothing.
When I say, hey, I'm the best in Canada, I'm like, kid, it doesn't mean fuck off.
After when
you're the
face
best
that
in
guys,
Russia, that's a thing.
Dagestan.
You're the best in Brazil, that's a thing. You're the best in Japan. The best in Canada, we're a very small country. MMA is not that popular. If you're the best in Canada, you're not the best in the world yet.
And that derives to my next question as well. Like for our viewers, how good do you have to be to fight in the UFC? Like you have to be next level.
I have no idea. You're fighting this guy from Brazil. You're fighting this guy from Japan. This guy from Korea. I remember my second fight, which is still to this day my favorite fight. I went. They sent me to Korea. It's like, Jar, we're sending you to Korea. Fight the king of Busan. It was in Busan, so the south. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm a gangster. I'm a fighter. Let's go. Let's do it. And Duo Choi was the fight. I think it was the fight of the decade with. I don't remember his name. He had a crazy fight. It was in Toronto, actually. And they had a wild fight. This guy was so popular. And I was like thrown to the lamb. They were like, that kid from Canada is going to get destroyed.
Lamb to the slaughter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They would... exactly.
So
thrown to the thrown to the lamb.
Lamb to the slaughter.
It doesn't sound too crazy, yeah. So I was... sent to the slaughterhouse, and the people wouldn't expect me to go through. So the fight starts, and I'm like, man, it's the first time I get punched so hard. It's the first time I get punched, and I'm like, why everybody's falling?
Yeah.
I'm the one falling. I'm like, what's going on?
Wow.
Like my brain was starting to disconnect, and I fell. And I remember at that point, I'm like, I could be home playing Minecraft with my girl next to me and my dog, and I'm here in Busan in an octagon getting punched by the king of Busan. What the fuck am I doing here? And then I had a flash, because my father said, if you do something, you do it good, or you don't do it at all. So I was like, if I'm about to get my ass beat, I'll get the best ass beat the life. UFC ever saw. So I got back up. He punched me again. I punched him. Boom, he falls to the ground. The round hand. I'm like, okay, he knocked me down, I knock you down. So I go on the stool, and Louis like, Charles, you have 10 minutes to change the rest of your life. I'm like,
wow, that's freaking inspirational.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
I'm like, okay, fuck it. And that was in the Journal of Montreal, big, like, you have 10 minutes to change your whole life.
That's a crazy quote.
So I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. If I must get a beating, I'll take the best beating ever. So I got in, and then boom, knocked him out, left hook, fall to the ground. And then I go back to my hotel. And then we received the call, you just got the bonus. So I made like 15, which is the regular contract. So 30 G's plus 50 G's. Man, I was broke. I had nothing. I had like 2 G's in my bank account. And now I made like 70 G's or something.
Wow.
So that was nice. And then I'm like, oh my God, I got so much money. And then the federal tax like, bang.
Guys, for you guys that don't know, the Canadian tax, we get destroyed on the Canadian tax, especially in Montreal. It's not even normal. I don't even want to get into it because it pisses me off. Get destroyed. It's not, I can't think. I don't know.
But still, like I was a 23-year-old kid that just beat the king of Busan in Korea. And then I was like, okay, I can do great things. So I never, since then, that was like my breakthrough moment that I knew I could get my hands on that little belt over there at one point. But for sure, it's not a easy path. It's very, very hard.
And would you say that's like one of your like more tougher fights in terms of like getting hurt?
Yeah. Like I fought Jean Silva, which is like the number 4 in the world right now, and this guy threw me an uppercut, and I slept. I
was
fell.
a clean slot.
But the thing, I was not out. Like he was very cool, because when he hit me, I fall to the ground, and that would be ruled a TKO, because he could have jumped on me and gave me many more shots. Because I was not out cold. Like he hit me, I fall to the ground, I looked, and then the ref's like, no, fuck it. I'm like, yeah, fuck it. Game over, And it's funny because like I make a lot of allusion to video games, because I played a lot, especially during COVID. And when he hit me with the uppercut, I just like, GG. That's the first thing that came to my mind. I'm like, GG, like this guy was very big, very strong.
Yeah.
And I fell to the ground, and I was like, yeah, good game. You played well. And the guy did a walk-off KO, which is a very nice thing. Because me, I don't do that shit.
Yeah, like, finish on the floor.
Oh, absolutely. Like the ref need to pull me away from your body if they need to. It happens a lot. Like I fought some guys and I knocked them down unconscious, and I need to keep going. Exactly.
To secure the victory, man. Even, for example, George Masvidal, when he asked him, hey, the craziest knockout in UFC history, guys. Everybody has seen it, I'm sure. He still KO'd him with the knee to the head, and he still tried to finish him after. Even if he was all cold, you have to. That's a number one rule.
Afterwards were like, that's why it was his meme or his catchphrase after that, super necessary. It's like, were they necessary? They were super necessary.
Yeah, of course.
And now they were shirts super necessary, because they're like, dude. A funny thing, I fought Andre Fili after I fought the King of Busan, and in the first round I knocked him down with nice left. Boom, the guy fell. I'm like, he's done. Fall to the ground, but because he hit his head on the canvas, he had like a revival. And it happened. I don't know if you guys saw Diego Lopez against Brian Ortega.
Yeah. Wow.
So
that
boom,
that was UFC Noche.
Him out. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Knocked him out. Brian Ortega got hit. He's falling. Boom, get hit with a hook, and he's like this.
Walk back up.
Walk back up. Like
it's crazy.
Exactly. So this is why walk off KO. There's no fucking way. I'm jumping on you, because I did that mistake once. I dropped him. He fell to the ground. I'm like, for sure he's down. And then when he hit his head, he's like this.
Wow.
Eyes open. I'm like, and then I jumped on him, and then it was too late. Like I lost my chance to finish.
It's like they have more energy. Like there's like weird. Something that revives into them, and they start going crazy. Yeah,
like
for sure.
Fight or die. That's in the mindset you are. So So now, no walk off KO.
What would you say is like one of your worst injuries?
Have you had any injuries in your career?
No, like even the uppercut, I was scared that I would have cerebral damage, and it was a shock 2 out of 10 from the guy who looked at me, because most of the impact that I got was on the chin and my neck. So like my neck was sore from the twist, but it was not a big bump to the head. Like my brain didn't explode during that fight. So I didn't lose consciousness. It never happened to me. Never been knocked out cold. You know, those guys who wakes up in the octagon. Never happened to me. Knocked on wood. But didn't have many injuries in my career. I'm very blessed.
Is that like something that, let's say during a fight, sometimes like stays in your head, like in the back of your head, like like you worry about it?
You already accepted it, you know, like if you get hit on the head, you know, like, oh shit, you don't want that. Like face, I don't mind, because like the face opens and everything, but when you get hit to the side of the head, that's where your equilibrium gets that's where those guys do the chicken dance. The side of the chin or the side of the ear. But when I see guys, oh my god, I busted the guy, but this is all decoration. You can slide out my arcan, my cheek, my nose. I don't mind. All of this, I don't mind. This I mind. This I need to be. This needs to be protected at all times.
And that's where we see some athletes, not only in UFC but even in football, head injuries. It's a big part of the game. And we even saw some crazy injuries in the past. For example, Conor McGregor breaking a leg. We've seen some, very very prolific stuff. But we've seen it in the past. And does that ever go through your head? Like maybe you're giving a leg shot, you're kicking, like maybe that could happen one day.
I have strong shins. Like I'm a Muay Thai guy. I fought in Thailand. I went to Thailand a lot, so I got good feet and shin. I break all all the bones in my feet and my hands. I broke them already. So fractured. Every time I finish a fight, my foot is all busted and So
what would you say is like the worst pain that you've had?
Not much. It happened. Like the pain is. The biggest pain I've ever had in the octagon is knowing I could have done more.
Wow.
Going out and like it hurts like right here, man. You're like, I saved my energy, but there was no energy to be saved, you know, because like I had some coaches who were like, oh, save some energy. There's no saving.
Give everything you have.
Give everything.
Give everything you have, man.
Absolutely. And that was one of the biggest mistakes I've done. And I got out of the octagon. It's like, I could have done so much more. Yeah. And that was this is why now I have such an explosive style. I learned from that. Like, if I can finish you in the first round, there's no second, third. And one thing that's funny is when a guy said, you don't get paid for overtime. If I finish you in the first, money's the same for me. So why spend 3 rounds?
For sure. And the next 24 hours, let's say like after you lose a fight, you lost versus the what was his name again you said before? Jean. You lost versus Jean. How was the next, like how do you cope with the next 24 hours after your fight? Like you said, after the fight, when you realize you just lost, it hurts. But like after going home or healing, like give me through that process a bit.
So that was a turning point in my life. When I lost to Jean, I came back to my room, and it was after seeing the doctor, everything, which my first concern was my health. And the guy's like, no, it was not a big shock. My pupil wasn't dilated. There was no mental concussion. I was very, very lucky. So I went back to my room, and I'm like, I don't understand. I'm supposed to be depressed. It's the first time in my career. I got many fights, and it's the only time in my career that I've been knocked out. And I'm like, I don't understand. I'm supposed to feel so much down, but I kept seeing a light. Like, it was not hallucination. I kept seeing like a message. Something was trying to contact me, and people might be like, hey, it's the concussion. It could be, you know? But I kept getting called, and it brought me to religion, to open the Bible, and to understand that there's the higher calling, and I got into my room, and I remember there was the sun of Vegas, and I had this big glimpse of light in my room, and I fell to my knees, and he's like, Charles, you're not in the right place. Trust me, when you're in the right place, everything will work. I'm like, okay. So then this is where I got called by the UFC a week later. It's like, hey, Charles, come in and do your fight system check. I've never done it. I've been with the UFC for so many years, and I never went to the UFC PI. I went to train and everything, but never to do like a checkup of my system. And then we realized I was one of the smallest featherweights. Like, I was always made to do bantamweight. Like I could eat pizza and make weight. It was more like a Muay Thai mentality. Like the Thais, they don't cut weight. They don't destroy their body doing it. They just fight. And the guy's like, Charles, I could make you one of the baddest, strongest, biggest 35er without any issue. I'm like, really? And then after doing that whole protocol with the UFC Performance Institute in Vegas, they gave me supplements, they gave me a sport psychologist, they gave me everything. My son arriving, like, man, I just completely changed. So now I'm starting my run at 35. People are like, no, do you regret going to 45 and 55 and accepting last minute? No, because I was forged in that fire. And now when I'm fighting guys at 35, when I'm in the clinch with them and where they punch me, I'm like, man, you guys don't punch like these guys. You guys, but me, I punch like a motherfucker.
Yeah,
because if I can knock out guys above me, you guys are smaller, and I can beat the fuck out of you.
Definitely.
So, absolutely.
Definitely
so
a fucking dangerous opponent, man.
I feel like a very different beast at 35, and now with all the UFC protocols, so I drop down to 35, and I rehydrate to almost 160 when it's fight day.
Shit.
So I'm bigger now at 35 than I was when I was doing 45, because 45 would rehydrate 152, 153.
Yeah. So you weren't cutting as much before?
Not at all. And I was not doing it properly. I was not doing water loading, everything that the UFC gave us. And now, man, I followed the protocol, and I'm bigger, stronger, faster. And mainly stronger physically.
We've definitely seen it in your last couple of fights.
I'm huge compared to the guys. Like, I do the face-off. I'm like, man, I used to watch guys like this at face-off, and I watch them like this, you know?
Like the guy, I think you followed, what's his name, Woodson? The guy was huge. That guy, and I watched that. By the way, I watched that fight.
Ugliest
motherfucker I ever seen in my life, bro. You ever seen that guy
roster.
Woodson? Ugliest motherfucker I ever seen. And I watched that fight, and it went to decision, that fight, right?
Yes.
I still saw you winning that fight. I'm telling you, I saw you winning that fight, and the guy was freaking big.
So annoying, so annoying. And he was like, and then running away.
And
then dancing. I'm like, dude. And then I was pushing, trying. Like the whole fight, I was running after him, and I think the punch were very close. But like, but he landed like 2-3 more punches. It's like, but he's fighting like this, and then he's running away. I'm sorry. But man, like that was one of the most annoying fights. Plus, then I had the most embarrassing moment in my UFC career where the ref is like this. And then he's like, Sean, and then I thought it was Charles.
And
the ref, I didn't. I'm like listening. I'm like, because what we hear in the octagon and outside the octagon is not the same thing. I mean, I don't hear Bruce Buffer. I just hear cheers. So the ref hears Chaw and he raises my hand. So I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, man. Fuck this guy.
Yeah, fuck this motherfucker.
I won. Split decision. I don't mind. Yeah. I hate you. You're ugly. Stay away from me. So I'm so happy. And then DC comes in. It's like, no, get the fuck out. You lost. I'm like, fuck. So yeah, I think it's on YouTube and it has too many views. I reported it to take it down. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I was humiliated. But
that gets back to the point that like he was much bigger than you. He was taller.
Yes.
Now you got the 135. You seem to be excelling for sure, and it's only uphill from here. Yes, my bad. Yeah. Was gonna say Merab Develashvili is the champion in the division.
Yes, sir.
There's Sean O'Malley, Sugar Sean O'Malley. Take me through some other guys that you would love to fight in your division right now.
It would be Sean O'Malley, of course. Of course, you got eyes on the belt. But right now, if you guys are looking at Merab, I'm taking a jab at you. Poor guy. He doesn't have a wife. He doesn't have kids. And I know he talked about a lot of times, on the podcast and everything. He's like, I'm trying to find a wife. Nah. But he looks very lonely. So I'm like, good, Merab, leave the division alone. Go get a girlfriend. Do something else, please. You're terrorizing us. You're annoyingly good. And leave some belt for the rest of us, and we'll leave the ladies for you,
bro.
Yeah. But yeah, like my dream matchup absolutely would be Sean O'Malley. Why? Because he's a superstar and his game is so nice. His striking game is beautiful. I'm a striker myself, so it was always about challenging the best strikers in the division. But of course, the eyes are on the belt. But if you want the belt, you need to fight the guys like Sean O'Malley.
Yeah, you have to build your way up the ladder, man. That's what it is.
But he's great. I like his style, and he's leveling up as a man as well, because he had the belt and he tasted the gold, and now he lost it. So it's a big mental battle he's fighting right now, and I know he's gonna get stronger from it.
Yeah. And how like outside of the ring, for example, let's say Sugar Sean, have you spoken to him already? You've had
we crossed paths because he was doing the main event when I fought on the main card of UFC 288. He was doing the main event. No, he was not doing the main event. It was Aljamain Sterling and Henry Cejudo, and he got into the cage to create some beef with Aljamain Sterling.
Yeah.
And then Merab took his jacket. So it's fun because he knocked out Aljamain, and then Merab went to avenge his friend and then beat Sean. So there was like a nice little triangle there.
Yeah. Sugar Sean is crazy. All that pink hair. He's all Showtime. Sugar Sean O'Malley, you know what I mean?
I think there's some regret there, because when he saw Cody Nola with the face tats and the hair with the dreads, he's like, oh wow, this is how people see me. Fuck, I think he's starting to regret his goofy style. I think he's getting older.
Yeah, he's a fighter.
Are there any other fighters in the division that you have your eyes on?
Right now, there's two guys I want to fight. The UFC knows. I think they're planning on it. I want to fight Raoni Barcelos in Brazil. This guy's on a 4-fight winning streak. He's a very dangerous man. Not many people wants to fight him. He's a very good grappler. He's a gangster. This guy just wants to bleed and fight you. Like you hit him with once and he's gonna give two back, and but I don't think he can handle my power. I think it would be a fantastic matchup, and he's a good Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and I like fighting Brazilian jiu-jitsu guys and submitting them, because it proves that our jiu-jitsu that we're doing here is quite good.
Yeah.
So that would be a fantastic fight. Or else I gave my candidature to fight for the top 15, and the number 15 right now, the guy's name is Marcus McGee. Marcus McGee, who just fought Peter Yan, lost a decision, but now Peter Yan's fighting for the title. And Marcus McGee's a gangster. He's a big guy, strong guy, and he like I said, I want to fight the guys nobody wants to fight. These guys are gangster and monster. Like, they don't care about decision. They're coming to destroy you. Yeah. And me, I don't want the guys who puts you against the cage and like, I'm like, dude, you can go online and watch like different sort of videos to see two guys doing stuff to each other. You don't have to tune into UFC to see that.
You gotta sort of have that Hamzat Chimaev mentality.
Just goes in,
destroy. Throw me against anybody, I kill everybody. Like that mentality is the scariest mentality in the UFC, and that's what's gonna make you progress in the future. Not only for you, but for other fighters as well that are trying to move up divisions and rankings in their division.
Yes.
So, and what would be like your favorite like style of fighting and your least style, like favorite style, like? In terms of like, let's say like the Dagestan wrestling.
It's more like a system of points. Like guys wants to jab and get out. Like these guys, which is unfortunate. There's a lot of guys that are stalling divisions because they're not good at fighting. They're good at winning. And they implement a system where they know, okay, I won 3 minutes and now I can be on the back. And now they fight on the back, and like when you try to go in, they do something crazy, or they go out. And these guys I completely despise. I don't want to fight them. Even if they're in my path, I'll tell the UFC, I'll fight my way down, or I'll fight anybody else, but don't make me fight these guys who are boring. Because I had a matchup recently against this guy. His name is Ricky Simon. He's a gangster. He's a fighter, but he's a guy that likes to hold you down. And I'm like, ugh. And unfortunately, with me, my style, I perform greatly when I'm with a guy who's trying to rip my head off, because I'm trying to do the same, and we just go mano a mano until someone falls. So unfortunately, there's some matchups that are very annoying. So that system of point fighting, I completely despise. I'm a big fan of Donald Cerrone, Cowboy. And Cowboy was a gangster, and he was like, dude, I don't mind who you're putting in front of me. Just make sure it's not one of those.
Yeah. But
I won't say it, but those point fighters.
But sadly, now in the UFC, we're seeing more and more, especially coming out of Dagestan, Russia, for example. We're seeing more guys that are always going for points, and that are, for example, Makhachev's last fight, but he was on the floor the whole time. You know what I mean?
Where I'm gonna take a little point there is they're fighting the title. They're fighting the best guys in the world. So these guys are world champion. So Islam Makhachev not being able to finish Jack is understandable, because Jack was the world champion. But when Islam was doing that to other guys, he would finish them.
Yeah.
But now when you're fighting, like let's say people are like, oh, Khamzat didn't finish DDP. Yeah. I'm like, dude, this guy was a world champion. This guy beat Adesanya, beat everybody. Yeah. And now people are like, oh, but Khamzat couldn't finish him. I'm like, dude, he destroyed him.
Yeah. But that was a really, really dominant fight by Khamzat Chimaev. That was crazy. And actually, I was in Italy when that fight happened, so it was 6 o'clock in the morning over there, and I was watching it on my phone, and I was freaking out because the guy was on top of him the whole fight.
Yeah.
DDP had no chance.
But every round started back up, and DDP couldn't do anything. Yeah. So that's why we give our hats off. Like GSP was the same. He had critics of not being able to finish. This guy was fighting the #1 contender every 2-3 months.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like, give the guy a break. I understand like George was not the most exciting fighter, like because GSP was in the era of Anderson Silva, where Anderson Silva could lean back, boom, knock a guy with a jab, and the big guys. So Anderson Silva was great and finishing people. So this is why the critique was on George, because people were like, oh, you're not finishing like Anderson Silva was. And then I think that's where the comparison was. But Anderson Silva was so great.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for younger guys, they've never been through that Anderson Silva era.
Through that phase,
Matrix.
Honestly, I for myself as well. Wes was watching UFC way before me, and for myself,
I was big on Silva, but it came back to bite him like later down the line.
Yeah, but man, he was 38, fighting those up and coming guys. Like he was dominant for like almost 15 years, beating the best of the best and blocking takedowns, knee front kicks. Yeah. This guy was doing Bruce Lee moves in the UFC before they were cool. Like he was the one. Like people couldn't understand. People were like, jab, straight hook, or kick to the leg, but there was no spinning kick, flying knee,
And Anderson was a dream matchup I always wanted to see was Silva versus John Jones.
Yes.
But that never obviously ended up happening.
Yes.
What would be like a dream matchup for you right now in the UFC? Like, even if it's not a present day fighter, like a past.
I would love Charles Oliveira against very properly trained Donald Cerrone.
Wow.
Me, I'm a big Cerrone fan, and Tony Pettis, all those guys, like those guys that were striker in a very wrestling dominant sport. These guys, I would love them because they know how to Anderson Silva was not fighting wrestling with wrestling. He was redirecting the wrestling. So when you were charging against me, it was like using his overhook to make you fight in emptiness. So there was
a lot of kicks too.
Heart, exactly. There was the embodiment of art and martial art was Anderson Silva. It was beautiful watching him fight.
And who would be a dream matchup for you to go up against?
Right now, of course, it would be Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley. Because why? Because I think he's one of the best striker in the division, if not the best, because there's Corey Sanhagen up there. Yeah. But yeah, that would be the greatest matchup for me.
Yeah. And let's say I want to know your top 5 UFC GOATs, 1 to 5. No bias.
Okay,
no
so
bias.
Not outside the cage. Not outside the cage.
In the cage.
Of course, John Jones. Second, I would put Islam Makhachev because how dominant he is. But is the question who's the GOAT or who's my favorite? Like my Mount Rushmore.
Okay. We'll say you're on Rushmore.
My Rushmore. My Rushmore. I like it. Okay. First, Anderson Silva. Anthony Pettis. Donald Cerrone. That's for sure. These guys were strikers. They had beautiful striking. Not Anderson Silva, excuse me. Israel Adesanya was good until we heard what he did to his dog. So I was like, okay, maybe he's out of the conversation, you know? Adesanya in terms of his striking could be up there. And man, number 5, who could that be? I think I have to give my hats off to Makhachev because of how dominant he is in many aspects, and people underestimate his ability to strike. Mm-hmm. And I think he's a very sneaky striker, Islam Makhachev. So that could be my right now top of my head.
Makhachev, in my eyes, I think he's top 2 all time. That guy is good, amazing on the floor. Holds you, he could strike, he could do everything.
Jiu-jitsu, like this guy is very
We've even seen one of the craziest kicks to the head in history versus Volkanovski, knocking him out. That was mind blowing. Wes, remember you were at my house, he was screaming at the TV, He's like, I thought Volkanovski was gonna win. I said
because of the first
fight. I said Volkanovski's gonna win because I thought personally Volkanovski deserved to win that fight.
Yes,
but they gave it to Makhachev, their first fight. And the second fight, I told Wes Volkanovski's gonna win. He put up a good fight. Wes like, bro, you're crazy. The second round kick to the head, he was screaming his head off. That was something crazy for sure. And so I wanted to ask you another question. This is a very important topic, guys. We all saw the Dana White UFC gambling scandal, exactly. Yes, so give me a bit of your input on that. What you think about that? About UFC gambling, sports betting in general.
Like, are you allowed to, let's say, bet on a different card that you're not on?
Okay, so I'll talk directly to the camera so you guys can look deep into my eyes and see that I've betted against me when I lost. No, FBI, open up. FBI. Unfortunately, the UFC doesn't allow us. It's on our contract. You cannot bet on fights, and you cannot, especially not bet on your fights, and close relative are prohibited. Mm-hmm. Like my wife couldn't put, hey, Charles gonna get knocked out in the second round, and then hey, I get knocked out in the second round, and she put 50 G's. You know, that would be so stupid. And recently there was a big situation where a guy, there was a big hot switch at the end because there was millions of dollars poured into this guy losing by submission in the first round. And the guy fighting that we talked about, unfortunately, I don't remember his name. And the guy shoots a very weird takedown. The fight just started. And then the guy tried to take his neck, and he's like barely defending and like not addressing the hook. And even DC during the fight is like, he's not addressing the hooks, he's not addressing the hand. What's going on? Boom, ended up losing. So the FBI is like, no, not happening. And there was a recent history, like 2-3 years ago, there was a fighter. The coach was putting a lot of money that they were going to lose, or they knew that their fighter was injured going in, so they were betting against their fighter.
That's the craziest thing ever.
Exactly. It's very dumb. And like, you don't play with the IRS or betting companies, man, because these guys, when there's money, there's power. Yeah. And these guys don't play with around. You. No, exactly. Yeah. So they're gonna get you. So yeah, it happened a lot, and there's many fights, and now the scandal is pushing further, where refs are not finishing a guy who's getting TKO'd and giving too many chances. Yeah. I can't blame the heat of the moment, and also, like, let's say a title fight, they're gonna allow it to go even further. Like we saw John Jones almost murdering Daniel Cormier on the ground. And they're like, hey, stop the fight. But it's like, no, there's a title in the line. There was so much animosity, so the ref allowed it to go a little bit further to allow DC to get up. But so when it comes to betting, no, we cannot bet on fights. It's in our contract, and people close to me cannot bet on me or anything, because otherwise they would be susceptible to get fined or trained into justice. So it's done. It's dumb. Like if you're injured and you need to know, you need to tell the doctors. And I saw some guys are so freaking dumb. They're like, yeah, I was injured during that fight. You're supposed to tell the commission. Shut the fuck up. If you're injured and the fight just over, don't go online or don't take the mic and say, oh, I was injured. My ACL was torn. Because you sign a waiver that you're not injured before the fight.
Yeah.
So now the commission can sue you because you didn't tell the truth. So there was fights like I had broken hand and I'm like, shut the fuck up. You don't say it. That's it. You go in, you fight, and you're good. And then and then afterwards we see the doctor. I'm like, oh, I fractured my knuckle during the fight. It's like, I think it was a fight that I won by guillotine. Didn't even land a punch. And the doctor's like, yeah, you throw like 1 or 2 punches and you got the guillotine. I'm like, yeah, but it broke during that. Because when you do that, the UFCs pay for your coverage. The insurance pays for your coverage. But technically, I amplified my injury during the fight. Yeah. So commission, don't sue me. I did it once. It's part of life. Yeah. But yeah, so to answer your question, unfortunately or fortunately, we cannot bet on fights.
Yeah. It's a big scandal. And how is it like in your DMs? Like, do you get people saying that like, I put money on you? Let's say. Yeah, talk about that.
It's bad like that.
Yeah, I want to get into detail like that because we saw some crazy. I've seen some crazy things on social media, not only about UFC fighters but football players in general getting death threats, racist comments in the DMs. Yes. Talk to me a bit about that, about your DMs. How it looks like.
Unfortunately, the sport has changed in the past 5 years, meaning that fans, a lot of them are betting fans. Mm-hmm. And they really hate you when they lose money, which is okay. Like, you can send me DMs, threats, or whatever. I don't mind. Like, I get threats all the time. I remember there was a video I posted. It was like 15 million views. It was during the sun eclipse, like last year, and it was during Ramadan. And I made a meme like a Muslim waiting for that 1 minute eclipse to destroy a meal, like meaning like the sun's not there technically. So I made a funny meme about that. And I got so many threats by some Muslims or even some guys who was like, you fucking Muslim, you're so stupid. I'm like, dude, I'm getting threat from everybody, like Jews, Catholics, everybody. I'm like, dude, it's a meme, first of all. And then there was a guy who was very intense, and I'm scrolling past and I saw that, and he's like, hey, if I was in Montreal, I would kill you. And then I see he's Muslim. I'm like, dude, nobody who's afraid of bacon could kill me. Yeah. And it was a joke, You
said that to the guy.
Exactly. And I'm like, let's have crazy. Fun, If you throw something at me, I'll throw some shade. It was a joke. It was something funny. And the guy just sent a paragraph. Of course, I didn't read it. But I was like, dude, if you're willing to give, you'll be willing to take. It's
I guarantee you, if that guy sees you in person, he's for sure running for his life. He wouldn't even do anything. I don't know.
Or they could be crazy, have a knife, whatever. I'm not into... Like I get many DMs, but I don't answer. It's okay. If someone's very mad about you losing a fight because they put money or you make a meme, they're really mad about themselves. Yeah, like overreacting. It's funny. They're a grown ass child, so it's their problem. So coming back to the point was DMs when it comes to betting. To my point that the sport has changed. It's quite unfortunate because I feel like they don't support the fighters that much. They more see the fighters as someone in a pit that needs to win for you to make money. Mm-hmm. So there's not the same connection that we used to have with fighters. Like, I would send encouragement to fighters. I was young, like on Facebook or anything. Like, man, thank you for inspiring. Even if they don't see it, I felt like it was the right thing to do because George and all those fighters inspired me to be where I am today. But now I feel like it's like the guys are like, oh, thank you, Charles. I made so much money because of you. I'm like, I don't care. Yeah. I performed and good for you. Yeah. That's it. But really, don't send me your slash.
Your slip.
Exactly, your slip because it's your thing. It's not my thing. And I never think that I fought for this. I don't mind. I'm happy for you because you won, and I like seeing people win. Yeah. But there's like a weird element to it. It's like, hey, look, you fought in a pit, and I put money on you. I'm happy. I'm like, that's weird. Yeah. There's something like there's no connection. There's no. I don't feel like you actually care because I feel like you would be mad at me if I would have lost.
Exactly.
So I think it's not a truthful relationship.
It's not
fake.
At all.
And on betting has grown so much in the past 5-8 years that it created a weird type of relationship between fighters and fans, which is important. I really like seeing the fans. I like the meet and greet. When I did it in the Toronto, man, the streets were filled. I was working with Hollerhead, the whiskey company of Dana White, and I was one of their representatives. And there were so many people, and like those genuine interaction are great. But as soon as I would see a guy, look how much money I made, I was like, I see an empty face, like an empty vessel. I'm like, I don't care. That's good for you, but it's not part of the interaction we're having now.
I can't believe people do that. That's so sad. Like, you finally get to see a meet and greet. You've been watching Charles Jourdain on your UFC cards for who knows how long, maybe a couple fights, and the first thing you tell him, you show him your bets. I find that so sad.
Yeah,
so
that's horrible.
Yeah.
Wow.
So betting has changed a little bit the relationship between fighters, and it's more like we're pit fighters, like not only fight for your enjoyment, but for you to make money. Yeah. So I find there's a weird element to it, but at the end of the day, my job is to fight in the cage, perform, and if you make money, I'm happy for you.
Yeah, and like getting into the UFC, how was it like? How did you meet Dana, like getting in contact with UFC? Like, how did that
I have
process?
a great manager, because my manager was in charge of George when George arrived to the UFC. So my manager, Stéphane Patry, is the best. Still to this day, like we build so many great things, the sponsors, the interviews, everything. Like, he's the man behind most of my success, and I can delegate. Like, I saw Sean O'Malley said, oh, managers are just guys who take part of your money, It's like, man, this guy helped me make so much money with sponsors and stuff like that. So of course he takes his percentage, because the more he works, the more I make, the more he makes.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm like, hey, but I'm the one fighting. No, dude, he helps me, makes all the phone calls, sets all the everything. Like all my life is sorted out because of this man. Because I'm a very disorganized man. So I have my wife taking care of me and my manager. They're making sure that I'm the drunk pirate, and I'm the boat is keeping straight.
Yeah.
And who would you say like is the most famous person in your phone?
Yeah,
like
that's a good question. Honestly, Wes, I like that question a lot.
Like in your contacts.
Pierre Poliev.
Wow,
he was running for
Prime Minister.
Prime Minister of Canada. That's crazy. Wow.
Yes, I had a. Yeah, I'll say it. I don't mind it. My wife was 9 months pregnant, and I'm glad I didn't went. There was a snowstorm, and Pierre called me, and he texted me. It's like, Charles, tomorrow I'm having coffee with George. You want to come? I'm like, I cannot do that, man. My wife's 9 months pregnant, but I'm like, dude, I would take a coffee with George and Pierre Poliev. What's going on? It's the Matrix playing a tricks on me. So I'm like, Mr. Poliev, thank you very much for the invitation.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. But I need to refuse because my wife is 9 months pregnant. He's like, don't worry, I totally understand. Wish her luck. And it was a very nice interaction, because after my fight in Edmonton, I said, guys, if we all vote for Pierre Poliev, I'm going to bring the belt back on his desk, you know, because I really hope that the conservative could have won against the liberal government, but that's life.
We're not going to get into it, but...
So it's politics, so we'll leave it out. But Pierre, George is more popular, of course, in the world.
Yeah.
Rory McDonald, like there's many I figure people in my phone, but I'm not butterish, you know. People are like, that's one of the things. I'll do a little diagonal with that. People are like, oh, you should train more with George. Like, George, by being George, already did so much for us.
Yeah.
So I'm not, hey, George, I'm the next man. Can you help me? It would be so annoying.
Yeah.
I would be like, dude, George did so much for the sport, so much for us. I was on, like, the first video I saw on YouTube was a George highlight with Till I Collapse, like the Eminem song. Like, it was so weird videos, but we're like, man, watching those videos like over and over, and then we're doing push-ups, kicks, and punching stuff in the house. And so George did enough, and I'm not gonna bother him with anything.
Have you like trained with him already?
Once at the Montreal Wrestling Club.
And
destroyed me.
Wow.
Destroyed me.
He was retired? Retired?
Yeah. It was after Paris. I had a very big fight in Paris and came back. I was busted up a bit, and David, my coach, David Zimmerman, is like, go with George.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, okay. like I'm not that great in wrestling department, but I'll show him I can hold my own. Yeah. Well, I can't. Not with George.
Clearly.
Completely mopped the floor with me, but he was doing it nicely. But like, his intellect in terms of he was not forcing anything. He was making you think about this, attacking your leg, then boom, and then it was like a artful display of wrestling.
Wow.
That's beautiful for sure.
And let's say before a fight, how do you get into the zone? Like, how do you get motivated, locked in? Like, what do you do to really get dialed before a fight?
You accept the worst outcome.
Okay.
So, okay, what's the worst outcome? Can I die? No. Okay, so it's not that bad.
Yeah.
Okay, I could get knocked out. Okay, that could get me some brain cells, but that's part of the game. Okay. I could lose half of my purse. I already have a lot of money. I placed all of my money. I'm very, very careful with what I do with my money, and I'm not buying Lambos and stuff like that, which is something I could do, but I don't mind. I'm not into that showboat thing, American showboat thing. Okay, so I could lose half my purse. Okay, my wife could be sad. No, she's happy because she knows like high and lows, I always come back stronger. So I'm like dissecting all the worst, and it's like, it's not that bad. So now I'm like, well, I have nothing to lose. So motherfucker, you better be ready, because I'm not fighting with being scared. I'm fighting with the knowledge that I must destroy you to make my life, to amplify my life. So accepting the worst, and then you realize it's not that bad, and then you put a target on everything that could amplify your life, and winning amplifies, money amplifies everything. So I'm making sure that I become the man that deserve to be amplified, because up there, one thing about money, people are like, no, I'm saving money. I'm not keeping money for myself. I'm a very generous man, especially with my family, with everybody around me. Bring people to vacation, like because I think money is a mean to create those moments that you're going to think when you're going to be on your deathbed, right? Yeah. So me, I'm very generous with my money, and I always thought like the more generous you are, the more up there he wants to give you, because you create something good with it. Mm-hmm. If you're always like me and myself, chains, Lambos, like fuck you guys, like, oh wow, I built this shit, myself, nah. If you're always about you, like I feel like there's a little demon on your shoulder telling you like it's all about you.
For sure, you have to be humble, man. Like being humble is so important.
There's a little thing with the word humble, because in Quebec we have a little bit small people mentality, and Israel Adesanya was right about being humble. Like humble, it's when you come back with your family and you're absolutely real. Yeah. But when you're in that outside world, speak your game into existence. Like, don't worry if people are offended. Don't worry if people don't like you, because they said, I said that in a recent podcast with Hugo Girard, the big guy. He was a strong man in Quebec, Canada. He was one of the strongest guys in the world. And I told him, there's only in Quebec where we're going to ask a star to shine less bright. Yeah. It's a saying that would be easier said in French, but the point is, this star is too bright, I don't like it. That's such a small mind, just don't look at it, So the point is, talk your stuff. Like, if you believe in yourself and you're out there saying, you know what, one day I'll be world champion, and people are like, no, you're not gonna be world champion, fuck you, and you're gonna let that destroy you. The guy on the couch telling you cannot achieve stuff. Like, I encourage everybody, all of your viewers, like, before you become the man, you must have the vision in your head, and you need to act like the man you want to become in order to make those steps towards becoming that great man that you want to be. Sorry, it took a little turn, but
no, it's good, man. It's very wise. It's very wise words. But going back to how you're feeling before the fight and whatever, when do the jitters get away? Because for sure there's butterflies in the stomach, you're nervous a bit. Is it during the walkout, while you're walking out into the octagon?
I run. I put always John Wick music. The guy's name is Castlevania. Like, it's me, I'm in the mode, like I'm in a club and I need to kill everybody. So first guy is him. So I put that techno intense music. I don't know if you guys watched the Blade movie. Blade was like Wesley Snipes slicing vampires in a club. There's blood everywhere, and it's like a big techno song, and it's so cool. So ever since I've been going on to these songs, like, I've been winning pretty good. So I'll keep doing that. So when coming back to the jitters, the long part is the day, because you're like, oh, that's very nice. I'm fighting later. Okay, I need to don't think about it. Don't think about it. Well, if I don't think about it, it means I'm not focused. And then, like, you're fighting so much in your mind, and the fight day is the most horrible day of your life. And then you're like, okay, let's go enjoy, like, the sun. Like, be in the present. Like, wow, oh my God, a butterfly. Fuck, I'm fighting later. So it's always coming back to
sure,
for sure.
Later. You're freaking out. I don't even know what I would do, honestly. I'd probably pass out. If you want me to be honest.
It's the worst day of your life.
If you want me to be honest, I'd be so scared I'd probably pass out. But that's your job, man. You know what I mean? You have to deal with that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what would you, like, when at the end of your career, when it's all said and done, what do you want to get out of the UFC? Like, what's something you want to leave behind? Like what's your end goal?
I did my best, and something great awaits everybody, all of your listeners, you guys. The more you do your best, you're gonna end up somewhere great. Maybe I'm not gonna become the world champion, but maybe I'm gonna be the number 13. But for me, if I did my best and my best was 13, I can retire and be happy with it. I don't need the belt to be happy. I was double champ in Canada. I bought a nice car after, and I realized all of this is fake. All of this is nothing. It's all personal belongings. But what's great is the journey that allows me to make good amount of money and bring my family with me to vacation, stuff like that. This is the real world.
Yeah.
So do your best, and you'll I don't want to be too much words. God guy, but
good,
the light will guide you where you need to be. And when it comes to my career, I really like doing social media a lot, but at one point I want to close everything.
Yeah, for sure.
I have my land, my animals, my family, my kids.
That's beautiful,
my 20
man.
boys.
It's beautiful, man. How many
daughters?
2 daughters. Are you looking to get a boy?
I got a boy, and I want many sons. I want many daughters. I don't mind the sex.
Are you gonna be putting them into fighting when they grow older?
They're gonna know how to fight. I'm not gonna force them to compete, but they're gonna know how to fight. My daughters, my sons, they're gonna do jiu-jitsu, boxing, and not too much boxing.
Yeah.
A lot of Kyokushin karate. They're gonna go through a very intense martial art way. A lot of reading. I'm very big on that. My kid's 10 months old, and every night I put a book in front, and he's like looking at images, and I read them stories. So it's very important. Books are meant like treasure chests of knowledge.
Yeah, for sure, man.
From very incredible.
And it's fallen
people.
out of our culture, honestly, with like social media, phones, everything. I find like no one takes the time to read anymore. Everyone's just.
It's a gift from you to you. Yeah. Like Christmas is coming. I don't know if the podcast will be out by then, but Christmas is coming, and go online. Ask ChatGPT. I'm at this point of my life. Is there some book you recommend? Be honest with it, and he's gonna recommend some book, and you might be very surprised that you might find a little 1% of a sentence or of a book that's gonna change the rest of your life. Wow. And don't underestimate the power of that knowledge, because you cannot just go online, watch Mr. Beast, and be entertained by sports. Sports is a good thing. I love watching sports. But if I didn't do my homework of reading, like, let's say, 20 minutes a day, I don't feel like I can enjoy the sports properly. Because in the back of my mind, I was like, I'm escaping from everything that needs to be done in order to become this higher man. Mm-hmm. So once I did all my stuff, you're going to feel like this soccer game or this football game is going to taste even better. Because I trained. I've read. I've done all the freaking thing I needed to be done today. I've worked. I finished my shift. I got my beer. I got my screen ready for the game. Everything tastes better when you've been through all those things you didn't want to do.
For sure.
So
those are extremely exemplary words, bro. I don't have much to say anymore. Honestly, you're an amazing guy.
Yeah, I think...
you left me speechless, bro. Honestly, I'm really impressed. We
see great things for you in the future. Yeah. We're really thankful to have you.
I'll be back, huh?
Yeah.
Bro, for sure. And I really... One day, I'm coming to watch you live. I don't care where it is. I'm coming to watch you live. And hopefully, it's in Montreal. I'm going to be there going crazy. We're going to come see you for sure, man.
But we see really bright things for you in the future. I think you're going to get ranked really soon, bro. Yeah. And hopefully, maybe a championship fight in the future.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for coming on, bro. Yeah. It was a pleasure talking to you, and we're going to wrap this up, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Check him out, guys, if you haven't. Charles Jourdain, man.
Charles fucking Jourdain in the building. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Peace out.